These car mods you see might look cool, but what if I told you they are so illegal that it could get you arrested? Yet most drivers don't even know they have it in their car. From LED lights to engine enhancement, these are the tweaks cops are trained to spot. Not only that, dealers won't mention them, but real ones know the truth. Today, we'll show you 15 forbidden car mods you should never risk putting on your car. And number 1 is so common, even gearheads debate whether it should be legal. Now here's the mod you never realized was illegal. Number 15. Tire wheel well lighting. Let's start with something that seems harmless but can land you in serious trouble. LED lights in your wheel wells might look cool casting that purple glow onto your rims, but they're illegal in most states while driving. Michigan specifically prohibits tire valve stem lights, windshield wiper lights, and any interior lighting visible from outside. Minnesota law states that only amber, red, and approved headlight colors are allowed. That purple glow casting onto your rim, totally illegal. Even if you can't see the LED itself, just the glow, you're still breaking the law. Pennsylvania bans all accessory lighting unless the vehicle is parked for show purposes. The enforcement varies wildly though. Some cops don't care about subtle wheel well lighting, while others will write you up for any visible aftermarket illumination. What makes this tricky is that these lights are often motion activated, so they only turn on when you're driving. Many drivers think they're being clever by having them off when parked, but that's exactly when you're most likely to get pulled over. The aftermarket industry markets these as show car accessories, but they deliberately avoid mentioning the street legality issues because it would hurt sales. But wait until you hear about what cops are really trained to spot. Number 14. Illegal fog light colors. Here's what most people don't know. Federal law and most states have strict regulations about fog light colors. Those blue, red, or purple fog lights you see everywhere. Completely illegal for street use. Blue and red lights can get you charged with impersonating a police officer, which is a serious criminal offense. Even amber can be problematic in some states if it's too bright or flashes. The aftermarket industry deliberately markets these knowing they're illegal for street use. White and approved yellow are your only safe bets, but many aftermarket colored fog lights lack proper DOT certification anyway. Law enforcement can spot these from a mile away. That blue glow is like a beacon telling cops you've got illegal modifications. The craziest part, you can easily buy these online from major retailers, but using them on public roads can result in serious criminal charges. Many police departments specifically train officers to recognize illegal fog light colors during traffic stops. They know the difference between factory and aftermarket lighting instantly. Some states have undercover officers who specifically target car shows and meets to identify vehicles with illegal lighting modifications for future enforcement. And speaking of sounds that get attention, number 13, aftermarket air horns. That train horn you installed might sound awesome, but it's creating noise pollution and potentially violating local noise ordinances. Most states require horns to be reasonable in volume. That 150 decibel air horn definitely isn't reasonable. Excessively loud horns can be classified as noise violations, especially in residential areas. Some cities specifically prohibit horns above certain decibel limits, and using them inappropriately can result in disturbing the peace charges. The craziest part? Some aftermarket air horn systems are so loud they can actually cause hearing damage to pedestrians and other drivers, making them more dangerous than helpful. Many truck drivers think louder horns improve safety, but the opposite is often true. They startle other drivers and can cause accidents. Installation shops rarely warn customers about local noise ordinances when selling these systems. They get their money, you get the citation later. Emergency vehicles have specific horn patterns and frequencies for a reason. Aftermarket air horns can interfere with people's ability to identify and respond to actual emergency vehicles. From horns to something that makes cops do double takes. Number 12, vanishing license plates. Hidden electronic license plate systems that can turn black or transparent might look cool, but they facilitate something very illegal, defrauding the DMV, which is a Class A felony. We're talking about $10,000 in fines and 3 years in jail. The device itself exists in a legal grey area. It's basically an electronic display that can make your plate invisible or unreadable. But the moment you activate it to hide your state-issued plate, you've crossed into felony territory. Even having the capability to obscure your real plate makes cops suspicious. Installing automatic license plate covers that can electronically turn black can actually get you arrested. Even if you have this on your car but don't have it activated, if police look underneath, you could still get in trouble. These systems are often discovered during routine traffic stops, when officers notice unusual electronic components or wiring. Federal agencies now track these devices as potential tools for criminal activity. Simply purchasing one can put you on a watch list for further investigation. The electronic components and control mechanisms are dead giveaways to trained officers. Most systems leave visible wiring and electronic hardware that experienced cops can spot immediately, even if you never use the blackout function. But if you think hiding plates is bad, this next detection device is controversial. Number 11. Radar detectors. Radar detectors are completely illegal in Virginia and Washington, D.C. for all vehicles. Illegal in commercial vehicles in Illinois, New York, and New Jersey. And some states won't let you mount them on windshields due to obstruction laws. The irony? Most truckers run them illegally because of commercial vehicle restrictions. Even where legal, mounting restrictions can still get you tickets for obstructed vision. While radar detectors are mostly legal in other states, enforcement varies wildly. Some cops don't care. Others will write you up for the tiniest violation related to mounting location. The technology itself is perfectly legal to own in most places, but the specific restrictions on use and mounting create a confusing patchwork of regulations. What's really confusing is that some states allow them but prohibit mounting on windshields, forcing you to mount them elsewhere where they're less effective. The trucking industry lobbies heavily against radar detector restrictions, but commercial vehicle bans remain in place because regulators believe professional drivers should follow speed limits without technological assistance. If you made it here and find valuable information in this video, kindly press the like button. We did a lot of research and will 100% appreciate it if you like the video. Anyways, make sure to stick till number 1. It's something that could fine you $5,000 without you knowing. Number 10. Vanta Black or Ultra Dark Paint. While not specifically illegal everywhere, ultra dark paints like Vanta Black create serious safety issues. These paints absorb nearly all light, making vehicles nearly invisible in certain lighting conditions, especially at dawn, dusk, or in shadows. Law enforcement can cite these under general safety violations or reckless endangerment if they determine the paint creates a hazard. Some states have specific rules about vehicle visibility requirements that these paints clearly violate. Insurance companies may also refuse coverage for accidents involving visibility-related issues. Your cool stealth look becomes a liability nightmare when someone can't see your car and crashes into you. The military and aerospace industries use these materials for legitimate purposes, but on civilian vehicles, they create unnecessary safety risks. But if you want attention instead of invisibility... Number 9. Flame maps or exhaust modifications. Flame-throwing exhaust modifications are illegal in most jurisdictions as fire hazards. These modifications often involve disabling safety systems and creating actual flames from the exhaust, violating fire codes and safety regulations. Beyond being illegal, they're incredibly dangerous. Flames can ignite nearby vehicles, vegetation, or fuel vapors at gas stations. Many shops won't even work on vehicles with these modifications due to liability concerns. The performance gains might be real, but when your car is literally shooting fire, you're basically asking law enforcement to notice you. Some states treat these modifications similarly to carrying incendiary devices. Professional race cars use anti-lag systems that create flames, but these are strictly controlled environments with safety equipment and trained personnel. Many shops that install these systems don't carry adequate insurance to cover fire damage claims, leaving car owners financially responsible for any incidents. The biggest danger isn't just to your car. Flame-throwing exhausts have started grass fires, damaged other vehicles in parking lots, and created serious safety hazards at gas stations. From flames to lights that definitely get noticed. Number 8. Underglow or LED strip lighting. Those Fast and Furious style neon lights look sick, but enforcement varies wildly by state. Arizona allows neon lights, but only amber or white lights on the side of the car. Kansas doesn't allow you to use flashing lights. Michigan has restrictions on neon lights, with red and blue lights banned altogether. The problem isn't the lights themselves. It's the colors and the distraction factor. Red and blue are universally banned because they're associated with emergency vehicles. Modern underglow systems can be controlled via smartphone apps, which creates new legal problems. Changing colors while driving can be considered distracted driving. Some states are totally cool with underglow, others ban everything, and some have complex rules about when you can use them. It's like the Wild West of automotive lighting laws. The LED underglow trend has made enforcement more difficult because officers can't always tell what color the lights are capable of displaying just by looking at them. Modern systems with smartphone app control create new legal vulnerabilities. Changing colors while driving can be classified as distracted driving, even if the lights themselves were legal. Some municipalities have created specific ordinances targeting underglow after complaints from residents about vehicles with flashing or rapidly changing colored lights disrupting neighborhoods at night. Number 7. Nitrous oxide systems. Here's the big one that surprises people. There's not a single nitrous manufacturer on Earth that claims it's legal to have a bottle hooked up for use on the street. Every single NOS system is sold for off-road use only or racing applications only. The legal framework is clear. Nitrous systems are banned for street use in all 50 states when connected and functional. But here's what's sneaky. The systems themselves aren't illegal to own or install. It's only illegal when they're armed and ready to use on public roads. Law enforcement training now includes spotting nitrous installations during traffic stops. They look for bottles, lines, solenoids, and especially the telltale button or switch. Insurance companies can void your coverage entirely if they discover an armed nitrous system after an accident. Some states treat nitrous possession similarly to drug possession. The bottles themselves can be confiscated as evidence of intent to violate emissions laws. Most people think NOS is just a performance mod like cold air intakes. Nope. It's federally regulated because it's classified as a performance-enhancing substance for vehicles. And speaking of performance modifications with serious consequences. Number 6. ECU tuning for emissions defeat. Modern cars run conservative to meet emission standards, often leaving 20-50 horsepower on the table. Professional tuning can unlock this power by disabling emissions controls, but reflashing your engine control unit to disable emissions controls is federally illegal. The EPA has been aggressively prosecuting emissions tampering, finalizing 172 civil cases from 2020-2023, resulting in $55.5 million in penalties, plus 17 criminal cases with jail time. The California Air Resources Board has become particularly aggressive about prosecuting tuners and shops. Here's what's crazy. The tune itself might be invisible to casual inspection, but some manufacturers now use tamper-evident ECU seals, while others monitor for non-factory calibration files during warranty service. Your car is basically snitching on itself. The EPA has started sending violation notices directly to car owners based on VIN tracking from tuning shops. They're building databases of modified vehicles for future enforcement. Cold air intake systems are also technically illegal in many jurisdictions if they affect emissions equipment. Many require recalibrating the mass airflow sensor, which violates federal law even if overall emissions impact is minimal. Even CARB legal parts can become illegal if installed incorrectly or on the wrong model year. The certification is incredibly specific and rarely transfers between vehicle variations, from computer modifications to physical ones. Number 5. Extreme suspension modifications. Lowriders face unfair scrutiny due to stereotyping tied to gang activity, while extreme lifts create safety hazards. Connecticut allows maximum 4-inch lifts. Georgia limits increases to 2 inches. Vehicles that scrape or have compromised geometry can be deemed unsafe and impounded. Most cities prohibit hydraulic operation while moving, and some ban their use. Even legal modifications can draw unwanted police attention. If your car is too low and scrapes, it can be deemed an unsafe vehicle and ticketed or even impounded. The performance community knows this, but poses installing extreme modifications anyway. They're just asking for tickets. Seriously, a slammed car scraping everywhere just screams, "Please pull me over." Some states now use acoustic monitoring to detect vehicles with modified suspensions that create unusual road contact sounds. Hydraulics were invented as a workaround for height restrictions, but most cities prohibit their use while moving. It's a cat-and-mouse game that rarely ends well for the car owner. The insurance implications are massive. Modified suspension systems often void coverage entirely, leaving owners financially exposed if accidents occur due to handling changes. And speaking of modifications that change your car's profile. Number 4. Window tinting violations. Let's talk about something that seems harmless but can land you in serious trouble. Very dark window tint can make it harder to see when driving at night, and every state has different tint laws. Illinois tint laws prohibit side and front window tint, except when the driver has some medical condition. But here's what's crazy. It seems to be selectively enforced, as a 5% limo tint is ignored by law enforcement in some areas, but gets you a fix-it ticket in the town next door. Some states require 70% light transmission on front windows, while others allow as low as 35%. What makes this worse is that tint shops often don't warn customers about crossing state lines. Your legal California tint becomes illegal the moment you drive into Nevada. The tint meter cops use can actually be fooled by cheap aftermarket films that change opacity based on angle, but modern enforcement has caught on to these tricks. The safety argument is real though. Contrary to popular belief, tinting isn't illegal because it makes it difficult for police to see inside your car during traffic stops. The primary reason is that it makes it difficult for you to see out. Police officers in some states carry special tools for measuring how much light passes through windows to determine if owners are breaking the law. Illinois specifically prohibits side and front window tint, except for medical conditions. Now we're getting into modifications that can create serious legal liability. Number 3, aftermarket lighting systems. You would think having a car with extra powerful lights is a good thing on the road, but technically in several states, any added light on your vehicle could be considered a problem. Most of these laws were designed to ban any lights that could look like the flashing lights of emergency services. LED headlight retrofits into housings that don't properly aim the beam are a menace. Kentucky has become one of the most recent states to pass a law banning the use of colored LED bulbs in headlights, not only because they are distracting to other drivers, but because if they are installed incorrectly, it can be difficult to control the beam. Light bars are particularly problematic. While you may think extra lights improve safety, mounting light bars on your vehicle can be illegal in many states if they're visible from the front and can be mistaken for emergency vehicle lighting. Some aftermarket LED light strips are so bright they can actually blind oncoming drivers, making them more dangerous than helpful. Many truck owners install light bars for off-road use, but forget they're illegal on public roads. The RGB lighting trend has made enforcement even trickier. Officers now carry color detection tools to determine if your white LEDs are actually shifting through illegal colors. Even with covers, the mounting location can still violate vehicle codes. Some states have specific height restrictions and beam angle requirements that most aftermarket lighting doesn't meet. And now for number 2, which will make you question every modification shop you've seen. Number 2, blue HID headlight modifications. While you may think you are being a conscientious road user by installing brighter HID bulbs in your headlamps, you could be pulled over for breaking the law. Blue-tinted headlights are illegal in most states because they don't provide proper illumination and can be confused with emergency vehicle lighting. The problem isn't just the color, it's the science. Blue light has a shorter wavelength that doesn't penetrate fog, rain, or snow as effectively as white or yellow light. This actually makes them less safe than standard headlights. Kentucky, California, and several other states specifically prohibit any headlight that isn't white or amber. Even those cool blue-tinted bulbs that claim to be xenon look are illegal if they emit blue light instead of white. Law enforcement can spot these from a mile away. Literally. Some departments now use spectral analysis equipment during traffic stops to prove the color temperature violation in court. No more arguing about whether they look blue or not. The aftermarket industry deliberately markets these as HID look or xenon style to confuse buyers into thinking they're getting legitimate upgrades. They're not. They're just blue-tinted halogen bulbs. Installing HIDs or LEDs in housings designed for halogen bulbs isn't just illegal. It can actually perform worse than stock while blinding everyone else on the road. The beam pattern goes everywhere except where you need it. And finally, the modification that law enforcement specifically trains officers to detect. Number 1, rolling coal modifications. Rolling coal involves modifying a diesel engine to deliberately emit large amounts of black or grey diesel exhaust. It's basically turning your truck into a mobile environmental disaster. And in most jurisdictions, the practice is illegal due to violating clean air laws. Modifications typically cost from $200 to $5,000 and include the intentional removal of the particulate filter, installing smoke switches, large exhausts, and smokestacks. But here's the scary part. According to government estimates, the practice can increase nitrogen oxide emissions as much as 310 times. non-methane hydrocarbons 1,400 times, and carbon monoxide 120 times. The legal hammer is coming down hard. In 2023, companies in Idaho and California pleaded guilty in federal court to conspiracy to violate the Clean Air Act and agreed to fines of $1 million each. But the real kicker, in 2021, 6 bicyclists were run over by a 16-year-old who was rolling coal in Texas when he attempted to drive ahead of the group to engulf them in exhaust. That's when coal rolling turned into aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Federal agents are now conducting undercover operations at truck meets and diesel performance shops to catch coal rolling modifications in progress. The fines can bankrupt you. Some states have created anonymous tip lines where citizens can report coal rolling vehicles. Do you know any of these car mods already? Or have you seen any of these? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'll gladly read them. Anyways, did you know? Aside from illegal car mods, there are actually car secrets inside your own car that you never knew existed. Click this video to know them. Trust me, you will not regret it.